front of me.
Welcome back to TML Weekly. It's always brought to you by Bjorn and Don Cherry Sports Grill. This is round 2 preview of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. So I'll send it over to you, John. What do you think?
Well, listen, I think we're all just glad that we're here. It was a little tenuous at the end of the last round. But I think if we're all being honest with each other, we kind of thought we were all going to be here. That was the expectation kind of coming into once we knew that we had gotten Ottawa. I think we all kind of figured it was going to be, us in either Tampa or us in Florida. And the hope was that Florida and Tampa would lay a beating on each other. It'd be a 7-game series, knock down, drag them out. And once they finally got to us, we would have a little bit of a reprieve on what was coming. Didn't really turn out that way. I think the series between Florida and Tampa was closer than maybe the final result showed. But nonetheless, Florida's here and they're for real. I'm choosing to be positive and say that one to chuck down, one to go. Johnny, what do you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you about Florida and Tampa. I don't think Tampa played as good as people give Florida credit for playing. Kucherov wasn't Kucherov. He's a guy that can take over a game at any time. He just seemed like he was out of sync. Florida, obviously they're the Cup champions. You have to give them credit for that. I'm not sold they're as good as even they were last year. If you look at the pieces that Toronto has taken from that team that won, I mean, you got 3. Well, Stolarz for sure is, he's made our season in Toronto. And then you've got Lorentz, who does his job. He's always got a smile on his face. If he plays 4 minutes or 12 minutes, finishes his hits, he plays the game the right way. And then OEL, I feel like I remember, if you guys remember, it was 7 or 8 years ago in
Vancouver.
They were looking for a defenseman in Toronto, and he kept coming up. And he ended up going to Vancouver instead, and didn't play very well, or didn't fit in, or whatever it was, gets bought out. I think he's been tremendous. I just think I think this is an opportunity. They don't have their best defenseman in game 1. This is a must win, right? Must win. This one here, you can't give them this one, and then they get their number 1 bona fide defenseman back Wednesday night. So this is the one you got to take advantage of that, and that's by pounding the D that they have, getting pucks deep, and just forechecking the hell out of them.
It kind of reminds me of. Sorry, Johnny. What I was going to say is it kind of reminds me of. Do you remember? I want to say it was maybe 2 years ago when we had Tampa, and Hedman was having a hell of a time, and I think he missed game 2 of that series, and he came back, and for that whole period, like that whole next 2 games, it was dump the puck in Hedman's corner and smash him, dump the puck in Hedman's corner and smash him. And I don't think that we really executed the way we needed to in that series. But Ekblad is their Hedman, and you're right, 100%. You've got to make hay while the sun's shining.
Yeah, you got to get up tonight. I mean, I think that the series, most series, if you look at history, game 1 is a very good indicator on who's going to win. I don't know what the number is, 65 or 62 or even 70. But you gotta take advantage of this home ice advantage, win this one for sure, and then really come out flying Wednesday night as well. I expect if you look at sports and you look at significant personal things in people's lives that make them maybe play a little bit better. Mitch Marner had his first child there on the weekend, which
it's also his birthday today.
Yeah, and then it's his birthday today. So,
yeah.
If you think about when somebody loses a close family member, to a tragedy or a death of some sort, has a baby, I think back to some golfers right? And the first time that their kid is there at the course on a Sunday, and they have a chance to win. And I expect Mitch Marner. I mean, he's been great, and I think it's just going to continue. They got to manage the puck a little bit better, like I said the other night. Take care of that. I'm sure they worked at that in practice, looking after their own end, quick passes, purposeful plays, and getting pucks into quiet zones that you can't get any damage done against you. But I'm excited. I mean, we got 2 more weeks of hockey here for sure, and hopefully more. And just enjoy it. Those 2 games on the weekend, though, holy smokes! Like, the margins are razor thin in this league. Okay, there's 3 teams that I can say right now, maybe 4, that aren't playing anymore that could have won the cup if all things went their way. Like, that St. Louis team was no joke. That's a good hockey club, well coached.
That was theft. That they lost that game. That was theft.
But that's my point here, right? If you can, get a bounce, play hard, dig a little bit deeper when you need to. Anything can happen here now. Toronto's got a nice little path if they can get through Florida, because I don't think Washington or Carolina, I just don't see them in that upper echelon of teams like Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, that kind of thing. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. What do you think, Nolan? What do you think of the keys to get going here?
Yeah. Well, first off, just looking at all the betting odds and lines for all the series, of the 8 teams remaining, Toronto is the heaviest underdog against their opponent. So I kind of like that underdog role. I think that they'll feed off that, kind of going in house money. So, I don't know. It should be a good series. I think Florida's obviously the Goliath. They're top of the hill until someone takes them down. I don't know. I think they're going to be much better prepared than they were 2 years ago when they played Florida. I think it'll be a lot closer than 5 games. I think it'll go at least 6, whichever way it goes. But I just think the Leafs are much more better prepared this time around with coaching, defenseman, goaltending, just the way their forwards are built. So, I think it should be a really good
series. And let's face it, Ottawa played Toronto harder than, in my opinion, Tampa Bay played Florida. So Toronto's just had 6 games of, and you know what? Say what you want. We say it all the time in the regular season. When you play in Ottawa or Montreal or Buffalo, it just seems to bring the back. I didn't get that vibe from that Florida series. I thought it was going to be a different hockey series than it was. So let's hope that Toronto comes out fast and heavy, and they can catch them snoozing a little bit. But with all these third period blown leads of late, like I would have bet the farm that St. Louis was going to shut it down last night, and same thing with Colorado. They're going to have just to go off topic quickly. Sakic and McFarland have a media tomorrow afternoon. I don't know if I would want to be either one of them at that, right? Because all the questions are going to be about Mikko. It's going to be like, hey, so what did you offer him? Because we know they didn't offer him the 12, right? So
and for of all people to get the Hattie to bump him out, I just kind of thought, if that is not if that's not the most poetic, that's the most Maple Leaf thing I've seen done by a non-Maple Leaf team.
Wow.
That is.
And what about the fact that when he traded him, he's like, okay, well, he'll be in the East. If we see him, it'll be in the Stanley Cup final. Because you have these conversations with your group, right? Your trusted advisors or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, Carolina's safe. Let's get him out there. And then they wouldn't have thought that he would have been back and then traded to a team that plays them in the first round.
Unbelievable.
McKinnon's not happy. You heard his end of the season remarks, and he's going to the World. Sid, Marc-Andre Fleury, and Nate.
Saw that today.
Perfect. That'd be, hopefully Marshy can join them after this round.
Absolutely, he will.
Have a big Nova Scotia contingent over there.
Okay, so number one, if you had to, let's go top three things that you're looking for the Leafs to win this series. No, what do you got?
I think you just gotta stay disciplined. Can't be putting Florida's power play in on the power play. Vice versa too. You can't when they take penalties, you gotta capitalize. So I think special teams are huge. Don't know if the ref's gonna put the whistles away second round.
You hope so.
We'll see about that. But yeah, just guys keep playing their game. Just stay focused on playing Team D. Hopefully Stallers and keep it going against this old team. Yeah, that's on a you, Jan.
Manage the puck and stay healthy, right? And they were great. They didn't let Brady Tkachuk take over the Ottawa series. At one point, it wasn't everybody freaking out about Brady, and they just didn't let him get there. Matthews is cut from the same cloth, obviously. So's Marchand. So's Sam Bennett. So you got a bunch of guys that can come in here and turn this into a 3-ring circus. You can't let them, right? Manage the puck, get the puck into good positions, like I said earlier, and beat them on the scoreboard. Go ahead, Matthew. Act up when it's 2-0. We're going to make it 3, right? We're going to take that punch in the face after the whistle, and you're going to get a penalty. And that was my key going into this whole playoffs: is stay away from the drama, stay away from the shenanigans until it's time to deal with it, right? Like I said the other night when it was 4-0, 3-0 with the empty netter. That's maybe when you go out and take a poke at somebody but really there was, other than Ridley Gregg is always acting up and stuff, but they handled it, right? They handled it. It's great. Same thing. Just play the game between the whistles and, let the talent prevail. This is a better hockey club on paper than the Florida Panthers are, in my opinion. It's a better hockey club. Right, I think top to bottom, but we'll see. I have it. We're going to do a prediction here before we wrap up the pre. We're going to do a post tonight. I may be asleep, but these guys are night owls. So Nolan's probably got a big party going on over at his house tonight. He's got no
Monday
party?
night.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give my prediction. I say Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win this series in 5 games. Nolan?
Yeah, I like I said, Florida's a juggernaut, but because I'm a Leafs fan, I'm going to go Leafs in 7.
Oh, that doesn't sound confident, though.
I'm not. That's the reason I'm not too confident. Florida's a unreal team, top to bottom. It's going to be tough to beat them, but if they do, I think it'll have to be in 6 or 7. So I'm going to go 7, home ice.
Oh, we'll take it in anything. Yeah. What do you think, John?
Well, a couple things. One, I think we need to recognize that Florida is not Ottawa, and if we bring what we brought against Florida or what we brought against Ottawa, this will be a short series, and it won't be well. However, I don't believe that that's where we're going to go. We need to have Stolars back to being Stolars again. We can't have the softy that squeaks in. I saw that a couple of times in that Ottawa series. I think, even he said there's 3 or 4 or 5 goals he'd like to have back. So we need Stolars to be Stolars. I feel like a broken record when I say it all the time, but with this group, we're heavy. We got to have our best guys be our best guys. I hope 16 shows up. I hope 34 shows up. I hope 88 shows up. Ironically enough, I feel pretty good about 91 showing up. He's been pretty lights out all the way around the season. So if those 4 guys show up and they're there every night and doing what they're supposed to do, I've got a lot of confidence. And power play, just crash the net, go to the net. We can't play pass the puck around and look for the perfect play against this Florida team. Go to the net. Good things will happen.
I don't like the 5 forwards in this series. I think Florida
can make you pay very quickly in transition, and we've been burned a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
So, to that end,
and Reinhardt are 2 of the in the last 10 years leading shorthanded goal scorers in the National Hockey League. So we'll see. But hopefully, I guess it depends on the time of the game, right? If you're up 2-0, I think you got Riley out there, you got OEL, or you got somebody out there that has a little bit of a defensive presence. If you're down, different story, but it depends on how much you're down too.
Well, and when in the game you're down too, right?
Yeah.
So to that end, if I'm making my pick, I'm going to say Leafs in 6, because bad things happen to the Leafs in 7 games.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the same as I said the other night when we were talking about Ottawa too. It's got to be a win in Game 6, because Game 7s we know what our history is. So I don't even think we get there. I'm with Johnny though. Like, I think if all things go right and we play the way that we're capable of playing, and we dictate to them, and again under Berube, I kind of like they've got that quiet kind of swagger going with them. No one's too excited. Everybody's on par. I think this team could surprise some people, and if all things go well, we could do it quickly.
Yeah, that's where I am. So anyway, thanks to the sponsors, Don Cherries and Bjorn, and enjoy the game, and we'll be back with you in a few hours.
Go Leafs, go.
See ya.